They got me isolated.
I will call this meeting to order of the Mayor and Board of Commissioners for August the 12th. Will you all rise with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. You are going to see a change on the agenda this evening. Moving forward, I wanted to take a second to say that I believe that each mayor that sits in this chair lends their personality to meetings. The primary responsibility of the mayor of the town of Rising Sun is to run our town meetings. And I am a very faith-based person. I recently, in the last 2 years, became closer in my relationship with God, and therefore I have elected to change our moment of silence to a prayer moving forward. Recently, the United States Supreme Court approved a ruling allowing prayer in local government meetings, so I'm going to move forward with having prayer at the start of all of our meetings from now on. So if you will bow your heads with me, please. Heavenly Father, thank you let us pray. Heavenly Father, it is an incredible honor for the elected body for us to represent the people of the town of Rising Sun. Let us feel the magnitude of this responsibility and give us the strength of character to carry out that responsibility in a Christ-like way. I pray for the guardians of freedom. May you keep them safe and give them a lantern of hope for those in our times of need. May God watch over our beautiful town and be with people that may feel that they are on their own. I know recently with the death of the actor Robin Williams by suicide, that there are many people that may feel that there is no hope. Let them feel hope and watch over our town and let us move forward. Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Next on the agenda is our approval of minutes for the July 22nd, 2014 town meeting.
I move we approve the minutes.
Okay.
I second that.
The motion's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Or, excuse me, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, they have been approved. The next is a reporting of an executive session from August the 8th, 2014. The town administrator will read that executive session.
Thank you, Mayor. On August 8th, 2014 at 7:15 p.m., the mayor and commissioners met for an executive session on the second floor of Town Hall. A motion to open the meeting was made by Commissioner Warnick, seconded by Commissioner Walker. Those in attendance were Travis Marion, Mayor, George Walker, Commissioner, David Warnick, Commissioner. Alan Arthurreath was out of the state on business. A motion to hold an executive session was made by Commissioner Warnick, seconded by Commissioner Walker. That motion passed 2-0. The purpose for the meeting, as provided for under the Maryland Open Meetings Act, was for number one, to discuss personnel, the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees or officials over whom it has jurisdiction, or any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. The other reason was item number 7 on the list, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. Topics discussed at the meeting were personnel conduct. The persons at the meeting, other than the elected body, was the town administrator, Calvin A. Bonenberger Jr., and town attorney Jay Gullo was available by conference call. There were no actions taken at the meeting. A motion was made by Commissioner Warnick, seconded by Commissioner Walker, to leave executive session. That passed 2-0. A motion by Commissioner Warnick, seconded by Commissioner Walker, to adjourn the meeting. That motion passed 2-0, and the meeting was adjourned at 7:59 p.m.
Thank you, Town Administrator. Do I have a motion to approve the executive session from August the 8th?
I motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Mr. Lowe, who is our clerk of the Circuit Court of Cecil County, just sent me a text message that he is running a little late. So we're going to move into business meeting items. And then as soon as Mr. Lowe arrives, I know we've had some bad weather today, we will move forward with the public presentation section of our agenda. Recently, I received, and the board received, a letter from Mr. Jim Boyd, who has served on our Planning and Zoning Board. How long has Jim been on the board?
About 5 years, give or take 4 or 5 years.
Mr. Boyd has been very active in the town of Rising Sun. I know he runs the, with the Rising Sun Middle School, he is heavily involved in the Tiger Trot 5K that's run every single year. Him and his family are deeply rooted in the town of Rising Sun. Unfortunately, I received a letter saying that he would have to vacate that position with the Planning and Zoning Board. And the reason why is because of family issues. So I wish Mr. Boyd all the best and thank him for the service that he has done for our community over the past 5 years. Moving forward, we do have some open slots on our Planning and Zoning Board. I recently received a letter. Initially, I received a letter from Miss Susan Hemmer announcing that she was interested in serving on our Planning and Zoning Commission. The Planning and Zoning Board met with Ms. Hemmer, and I have a letter from our ex officio, Alan Auchenreith, which I will read. It says, Mayor Marion, I apologize for not being able to attend the August 12th, 2014 meeting of the Mayor and Commissioners. Although my vote does not count during my absence, I wish it to be known that I support the appointment of Ms. Susan Hemmer to fill any vacancy of the Mayor's choice to the Rising Sun Planning and Zoning Board. The Planning and Zoning Board has interviewed Ms. Hemmer and voted unanimously to recommend her to the Mayor and Commissioners for this appointment. With that being said, I am going to put forth Mrs. Hemmer's name to be appointed to our Planning and Zoning Commission. Can I get a motion on the floor for that?
I move we appoint Mrs. Hemmer to Planning and Zoning.
I second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Congratulations, Mrs. Hemmer. We are glad to have you on board.
I believe that means we still have 2 vacancies now since Jim Boyd is leaving.
Correct. We do have 2 vacancies left on our Planning and Zoning Board. If you are a town resident and you are interested, please get a hold of our ex officio. A couple of people have reached out to me, and I've given them Commissioner Auchenreith's email address. Since he is the ex officio of Planning and Zoning, he is in charge of that. So the Planning and Zoning Board will interview those people and then give their recommendations to the Board of Commissioners. So we will move into citizens' input. Could I get the sign-in sheet, please? Thank you, ma'am. Okay. The first on our list that would like to speak is Mr. Jeff Achenbach.
Good evening. I just wanted to share a quote I came across with you folks, which I hope you'll find some value in. It's by a man named John Witherspoon. He was the only minister to sign the Declaration of Independence. He was a minister and an educator. He headed the College in New Jersey, which is now Princeton University. And he taught many of our founding fathers personally, James Madison being the most significant of them. And right after, I think it was a day or two after signing the Declaration of Independence, he said this: "In free states, where the body of the people have the supreme power securely in their hands and must ultimately be resorted to on all great matters, if there be a general corruption of manners, there can be nothing but confusion. So true is this, that civil liberty cannot long be preserved without virtue. A monarchy may subsist for ages and be better or worse under a good or bad prince. But a republic, once equally poised, must either preserve its virtue or lose its liberty. And by some tumultuous revolution, either return to its first principles or assume some unhappy form. I'm just wondering what unhappy form we are spiraling towards in this nation. Now, I do want to make something clear. I come to these meetings not because I'm accusing anybody in the town of Rising. I'm hoping this is where we can preserve our liberty. I'm looking for you gentlemen to step up and be the guardians of the freedom that we're losing on the national and state level. So I'm on your side. And I do want to commend you for your step to open with prayer, because I am certainly in the firm belief that this nation is without hope, and unless we again receive the blessings of God Almighty, our Creator, as I many times have pointed out, stated in and acknowledged by our founders in the Declaration of Independence. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Achenbach. Joanne Osborne, would you like to speak tonight?
Joanne Osborne, town resident. I would like to see on Cherry Street 15-mile-an-hour speed limit signs and big signs that say children and pets at play. We have cars and trucks going up and down the road at 50 miles an hour. They're very nice when our local police department is on hand, and they do slow down nicely when they see those cars, but there was a fire alarm the other day, and there were two big trucks that went up and down that road, and there were probably 6 kids out in their yards, and there's no way that they can see those children darting among the cars when they're going at that speed. We don't even have a watch children sign. If Mount Street can have 15 miles an hour, please make Cherry Street the same. We have 14 children in a 3-house section of the street, and it's very scary to sit out on the porch and watch the children play, and then watch the cars and trucks go by. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Osborne. That is all that is signed in. Would anyone else like to speak this evening? Hearing none, I'm going to move forward with our public presentation section of this agenda. I wanted to say that I met with 4 candidates for the commissioners, the vacant commissioner slot left by the resignation of Commissioner Lynn Duggar. I ended up meeting with Ms. Scully, who until now I only met a couple of times going into her workplace, seeing her on the street. I didn't really know that much about Ms. Scully until then. I sat down and we spoke for probably about 2 hours. We talked a lot about the town of Rising Sun. We talked a lot about what are the reasons of why she believes she would be a good commissioner's candidate. I listened to her, and I found that her viewpoints were very on board with the way that this board is moving forward. She believes in finishing our infrastructure projects as quickly as possible. She believes that economic development is extremely important to the town of Rising Sun, while maintaining our quality of life and our historic charm. She believes that if we're going to have a sustainable future, that we have to move forward with helping our town with economic development. I'm appointing a woman tonight who I am in a strong belief adds something to this board that is missing. Many of us have different personalities, and across the board, when Commissioner Walker, when Commissioner Authrenreith, when Commissioner Warnick met with Ms. Scully, they all agreed unanimously that she was the best choice to move forward Rising Sun. So with that being said, I am going to put forward Ms. Jennifer Scully's name to fill the vacant commissioner spot on the Rising Sun Board of Commissioners. Can I get a motion for that, please?
I so move.
I second.
The motion's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, it is being approved. So what is going to happen right now is I'm going to vacate my slot right here in front of the town seal, and the clerk of the circuit court, Mr. Derek Lowe, will swear in Ms. Scully. So I wanted to say congratulations, and we are excited to have you on board. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, members of the Board of Commission, my apologies for being late. The Rotary night, so sometimes those things go a little bit over. All right. Let's get under the seal. So. Can you raise your right hand for me and repeat after me? I, Jennifer Scully,
I, Jennifer Scully,
do swear or affirm
do swear or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and that I will be faithful
and that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office
execute the office
of Rising Sun Town Commissioner
of Rising Sun Town Commissioner
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state.
and laws of the state.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job for you.
Okay.
Would you sign your name and put your address and position, and I'll fill out the rest. Don't be nervous, everyone's watching you right. All right, excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Hold it down back here now.
Okay. Just so I don't leave Commissioner Authrenreith out, I will read the little brief statement that he gave me for Ms. Scully. It says, Mayor Marion, again, I apologize for not being able to attend the August 12th meeting of the Mayor and Commissioners. Although my vote does not count during my absence, I wish it to be known that I fully support the appointment of Ms. Jennifer Scully to fill the vacancy and the remainder of the term of office left by the resignation of Commissioner Duggar. Please wish her well from me, Commissioner Alan Autenreith. We are going to move into the mayor's report. Excuse me. My report is going to be pretty light tonight. I have gone and met with a few people regarding economic development and rehabilitating the old district of our town. I am going to be having a meeting soon with the Neighborhood Revitalization Committee that is formed by the state of Maryland. They have been very present in our neighboring communities of Port Deposit and also in Elkton. So I am going to meet with them and start talking about how they can get involved and how maybe give us some pointers on how to best move forward with rehabilitating the older district of our town. I did want to say that on a parks note, I have these t-shirts down here. These t-shirts, the Town of Rising Sun will actually be selling t-shirts for Triangle Park. These have been sitting in my office since early November with, if you've followed Triangle Park, we've had some significant delays with bad weather. We had early snowfall and then we had a lot of rain that flooded the park for certain times. But officially I can offer you a t-shirt that you can proudly wear that will not be just a construction site. So when people see this on the street and you wear it, it will be a good advertisement for Rising Sun and for our brand new dog park that will hopefully be open within the next week. And it will also help the Town of Rising Sun to get out the word that we do have a dog park, that we welcome people to come and attend it. We have two different colors here that I will hold up and show you. They will both be for sale at the Town of Rising Sun downstairs at the window. I will also be putting advertisements online on social media so that you will be able to see them. They are going to be $20.50 each, and the money that is being collected will go towards amenities for the dogs. What I am looking forward to getting is possibly some agility rails down there, maybe some leash racks, little things that when purchasing this t-shirt, it's going to good use. It's going to move forward the dog park, and it's going to add amenities that we don't have down there right now. So first I will hold up this one. This is I like to call this the more conservative approach. This one has our dog park logo. On the front it says Triangle Dog Park and Trails of Rising Sun, Maryland. And then on the back it says the same, Triangle Dog Park and Trails of Rising Sun, Maryland, with two dogs under a tree. We have all different sizes as well. I believe we have up till 2 extra large. So we have small, medium, and extra large as well as large. This is the more fun approach. This would be great for kids, especially to wear. It says, "I've been to the park," with some dog paws. And then on the back, in a beautiful bright orange, it says Triangle Dog Park and Trails of Rising Sun, Maryland. So buy a t-shirt, help us support Triangle Park. These will be going on sale probably on Friday, if not on Monday. As soon as the advertisements are done, they will be for sale down there at the window. They are first come, first serve, so when we do sell out, we will not be taking orders for them, but we do have a lot of bags of t-shirts in my office, so I'm excited to get those out of there and onto the backs of people in our town. That is going to be the end of my report, and I'm going to pass it on to our staff reports. It looks as if, Commissioner Warnick, are you going to handle the chief's area?
I do have the police department numbers here. I'm trying to think if he reads through all the stats or just the total calls for service. He had 383. There's, I guess, a number of different. Do I just read the whole report, I suppose? There was 1 assault, 1 sex offense, 1 MDOP. I'm not really sure what that means.
Malicious destruction of property.
There we go. Thank you. 1 domestic assault, 1 CDS.
Drugs.
Thank you. I'm still working on the lingo, acronyms and such. 1 underage alcohol and 1 sale of tobacco to a minor. there's a number of traffic citations and warnings, and then a parking citation. So, we had administrative activities, training of 5 hours and 14 hours of court. We had events. We had the chief of police meeting with the state's attorney, the public safety security meeting with Department of Emergency Services, and Night Out Against Crime. Additionally, all the officers are now trained in, or they've all received training, and they're all carrying with them Narcan, which is an opiate blocker. I guess it's used to revive patients that overdose on opiates. So, and that program was sponsored by the Cecil County Health Department. I should say a large percentage of the officers, not all of them. There was one that wasn't. And then, of course, the National Night Out was held on August 8th. The event was well attended. This year it featured the Maryland State Police Aviation, Maryland Department of Transportation Command Bus, and the Department of Emergency Services Hazmat Command Bus. So,
Thank you, Commissioner Warnick. I do have two more things that I forgot to mention in my mayor's report, but I'm going to go ahead and let the town administrator do his report, and then I'll move forward with those two things. So,
Thank you, Mayor. We don't really have a lot to report on tonight. Our public works crews have completed 6 out of the 8 stormwater catch basins up in the Summer Hill development that were real bad. The remaining 2 are not of critical nature. They are also strategizing to move forward with the repair and replacement of 5 fire hydrants that was allocated in the budget. They've also fixed some potholes, one being over on Crothers and Reynolds Avenue. All we could do at this point was put a temporary patch over there because the extent of the sub-base damage underneath is significant enough that we don't think that the patch is going to hold very long. But the cost to repair just that short section of road would probably be in excess of $25,000-$30,000. So, as we've talked about before, our paving and our overall paving budget is cut tight because of the reduction in highway user fees. The Public Works guys have also replaced some motor vehicle or traffic control, right-hand turn, that kind of stuff, signs, and some street signs that have been down. A lot of grass cutting has been taking place with our Parks and Rec folks. On the dog park itself, the mayor can elaborate on it. We're going to be moving forward with a grading project for the parking lot. That's one of the final things we have to address, is to meet our stormwater grading permit that was originally pulled for the project. So we have to do some grading down there and put some stone in place. That pretty much concludes the report that I wanted to cover for tonight.
Thank you, Town Administrator. The few things that I forgot to mention in my mayor's report, thank you, Town Administrator, for alluding to one of them, which is our grading issue down at the parking area of Triangle Park. We are very happy that one of our engineers, KCI, stepped up and has graciously agreed to lend us some surveying for free. That saves the town close to $600. So that is really good of them to volunteer that service. Also, we will be moving forward with having a dozer down there and having our people grade some of that property before the opening of the park. We also installed, I was down there with our Public Works crews, and we installed benches, waste stations, and trash cans. They look absolutely wonderful down there. We still have signage that I am waiting to get back from our graphic designer. As soon as he sends them to me, I will approve the proofs, and they will be mounted down there on the stone bases. We also are waiting for concrete stain that will be staining good portions of the sidewalks down there, because unfortunately when dogs get excited, they can urinate and make a mess, and that will stain the concrete if it is not protected. The other things that I forgot to mention were the National Night Out that Commissioner Warnick alluded to. I was in the dunk tank for a good portion of the night, and I was amazed at the amount of people that wanted to dunk the mayor. So I am not necessarily sure if that is a good thing or a bad thing, but I was constantly getting drowned by not only kids but also by adults. One of our assistants here at Town Hall, Pam, was first in line, and she decided that it would be fun to drown me. So that was something that I definitely enjoyed. I am hopeful that they will invite me back to do that again because I definitely enjoyed it. We will also be moving forward. A lot of people are starting to talk with fall coming. Unfortunately, hopefully the weather doesn't change that quickly, but with fall coming, we will be doing our annual Halloween Spooktacular that was started last year. It was a great event. I am hopeful that we will also be able to team with the Chamber. I will be getting you a date by the next town meeting of when that Spooktacular will be taking place, and I will be reaching out to people that have volunteered services before and donated money before. So if you have an open wallet, I will be asking for money. So please give to the Spooktacular because the kids definitely enjoyed the pony rides, the moon bounces, absolutely everything we had there. So I'm excited for that. With that being said, I am going to move forward into the next order of business, which is the Historical Preservation Commission report. Okay, hearing no report, do I have any old business on the floor? Hearing no old business, do I have any new business on the floor?
I have an item. This is an amendment to the owner-engineer agreement. Because of all the changes that we've had with contractors and everything else that's gone on at the sewer plant, we have to have a new agreement with the engineer. Calvin, if you would you explain to the board what this agreement involves?
Yes, essentially, as you well know, it's pretty well documented about the issues we've had with the sewer plant and some delays related to it. The contract, or the engineer that we have under contract, has been doing a lot of work that started to get beyond the scope of the Second Amendment. I say the Second Amendment because you notice this is a third amendment to the original contract. So there were a lot of things that they got involved in that were not covered under the original contract, such as some legal assistance to our town attorney in positioning the town to be able to protect the residents from a legal standpoint on what has transpired at the sewer plant. There is a lot of work from a inspection standpoint. The bulk of this amendment, and we'll jump to, I believe it's the second to the last page. You see under agreement summary, this agreement is for $251,400 is what this amendment is for. And you see the breakdown of all of the things that they had done or will be doing going forward. And one of the biggest driving expenses in this is the inspection services. And for those that were not here at the beginning of the project, a lot of times under different financing procurements of doing a project like this, you don't necessarily have to have an inspector on site every day. You would have an inspector. It's like if you were building your home and you had your own inspector come in to inspect the work, you would have them come in and inspect the footings and the foundations, but they wouldn't be there every day. Because this is federal government funding, they require us to have an inspector there every single day. Every moment that the contractor is there, the inspector has to be there. So in some respects, we are not having inspections done those days, but the inspector still has to be there. So if you can imagine, this project is supposed to run until roughly July of 2015. That's a lot of days to have an inspector there, a qualified individual. So there's a significant chunk of this contract is for the inspection services that are required. Going forward, this is, so to speak, this is a horse that we're riding here. We're comfortable with the price that they have submitted to us, so I would assume the recommendation would be for the board to consider this.
I move we approve this amendment.
A second.
Okay, the amendment has been moved and seconded. Do I have any discussion on the floor? Hearing no discussion on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The amendment passes. Thank you. Under new business, I also have to make the formal appointments for the commissioner slots. Unfortunately, we forgot to put that on there. I am going to formally appoint Commissioner Dave Warnick. Dave has done a terrific job as our public safety commissioner for the last couple of weeks. To be honest with you, I did not expect Dave to do anything more than potentially be a seat filler because a lot of people knew that I was going to appoint him to the Parks and Recreation Department. But Dave has definitely moved forward with a lot of things, and I've spoken with Ms. Scully in depth about having Commissioner Warnick stay involved in certain matters, and she is more than willing to have his assistance and his help moving forward. And with that being said, I am going to formally appoint Commissioner David Warnick to the Parks and Recreation Department, and I am going to formally appoint Ms. Jennifer Scully to the Public Safety Department. Do I have a motion on the floor to approve those appointments?
I move we approve those appointments.
I second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It passes.
can vote.
Thank you. I'm going to move into the commissioner comments. Commissioner Authon-Reith is absent tonight. So Commissioner Walker,
I have a couple of items, and one of them is very good. Well, maybe they both are. The new contractor is on the site. There's not a lot of work been done yet, but he's there. That's the good part of the good news. The other good news is we have received a letter from MDE advising us that we have been awarded a grant to cover part of the cost of the construction of the new wastewater treatment plant. That grant is for $2,798,620. I don't have anything else.
that's great. I want to commend Commissioner Walker on his work on this with the Water and Sewer Department. I know sometimes having to attend all those meetings, and I know sometimes with all the different personalities, it is very hard to deal with. So I want to thank you very much for your service in our Water and Sewer Department. And I also want to say a big thank you to our town administrator as well for everything you are doing to move our water and sewer projects along. It has been a long time coming with our infrastructure projects, and I'm excited to see them get done under your tutelage. So thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Warnick, do you have anything?
Yes, I do. There's the first thing I'd actually like to go into real quick is last night there was a gentleman that had he was riding his bike through the area, and he'd stopped here in Rising Sun and was at the pavilion. And when I walked out of town hall, he asked if I was an officer. Of course, I was wearing shorts and a polo shirt. I don't know how I look like an officer, but I walked over and introduced myself, and he asked if he could sleep on the bench at the pavilion. So I called Officer Herbert, who was on duty at the time, and tried to talk to him and see what we could work out. The gentleman handed us his license and social security card and all kinds of other things, and one of the things he handed over was a VA card. So he was about 57 years old, he said, and he had been riding from Maine to Texas on his bicycle. He said it was the first time he'd ridden a bike in years, and wasn't really in any condition to be riding. He says his back was hurting, had a back problem. So Officer Herbert, upon seeing the VA card, said, well, there's a VA administration near here. And the guy said, well, I can't ride any further. So he took the gentleman in and called the VA. They suggested that when they pulled up his medical records, they suggested that he be transported to a hospital immediately due to some medical issues that he has. So Community Fire Company of Rising Sun transported him to Hartford Memorial, and then the VA was supposed to come pick him up sometime today, possibly. I'm not exactly sure when the details of that. But the point is I wanted to commend Officer Herbert for showing compassion. I mean, he could have just kind of been like, move along, or just sleep on the bench or whatever. But his instinct was to think outside the box and come up with a solution that didn't have this guy sleeping on a bench, on a hard bench with a back problem, overnight in the center of our town. So I do appreciate him putting forward the extra effort to reach out and try and find somebody that could help this gentleman. So that's the one thing I have on that. The other thing we have, we're starting to work on a trail system in town, and the details will be to follow. But I have a couple things. We have some of the trails in the existing parks we're working on, and we have some other more extensive projects that we're looking at trying to accomplish. There's a young man by the name of Matt Bernero, I might be pronouncing that wrong, who has reached out to me a few times, and hopefully we'll have his help with building some of the walkways and such over some of the wet areas that we can't just throw mulch down or stone down and just run a path through. We have to build boardwalks or bridges or whatever. So he's working on his Eagle Scout. And so we also have another Eagle Scout, I'm not exactly sure, Eagle Scout project, I should say, down at the dog park. So the town administrator and I met with Rupert Rossetti. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Okay. On, was it Friday, to go over some of the final stormwater management type things at the dog park, and some of the mowing and the boardwalk. The final projects that'll be like the phase 2 of the dog park that I'll be working on here shortly. So those are the things that we've got going on right now between the police department. One thing I will say is handling the police department, the Parks and Rec, and the economic development. It was extremely time consuming. Like it was honestly, I felt like I was starting to drown a little. So I'm glad we have another commissioner on that can at least take some of that responsibility off and help with that. So that's the end of my report. Thank you.
I did want to say, Commissioner Warnick, if you want to meet with the gentleman in the back row, they have graciously come. Mr. Parrott is one of them. They are doing the boardwalk down at Triangle Park, and I will let you meet them and introduce you to them. I'm very excited for that to move forward. I will be opening Triangle Dog Park without the trails being completed. Hopefully this fall the trails will be completed, but the dog park portion of itself is finished, and I feel as if it's been long enough, so we should definitely open it to the people. But Commissioner Warnick will be working on that part while I finish up what is left over in the dog park area. So I'm excited to turn that over to him, and I kind of feel bad for him because he gave me a call and was like, do you want to go out and go through the weeds and check out these trails and stuff? And I said, Commissioner Warnick, I can't do it tonight. And I saw him later in the evening, and his legs were all torn up and cut and poison ivy and everything else. And I said, where you been? And he said, well, I went through those trails that you decided not to go with me on. And I said, well, what did you wear? And he said, well, I wore my shorts that I have on right here. And all we could do is sit and laugh at each other, because it was like, I couldn't believe that he had went through all these trails. So, I mean, he's very dedicated to Parks and Rec. And with that being said, I did want to add one thing under Parks and Rec, which is Divergent will be our movie in the park on August the 16th. That is this Saturday. It is our last showing of the summer, unless Commissioner Warnick decides to do a special showing. But I'm excited for it. It is a new release movie. Hopefully we will have, a lot of people have talked to me about getting the youth involved. Some people that aren't, with the younger kids, we do have certain activities going on. But for the teenage section of our community, there aren't a lot of things going on. And Divergent is something that may attract them to come out and enjoy a night in our town safely. So I'm excited about that as well. But I wanted to go ahead and send it over to Commissioner Scully if she has any comments.
You put me on the spot. What I want to say is that I'm completely honored to be, part of this group. Meeting each one of them made me want more to be part of it. The collaboration that we've talked about is exciting to me. The being a positive ambassador, the economic development, a lot of things that I'm excited about. But I have to say that at the end of the day, it's this group that makes me want to be part of it, and I'm looking forward to working with them. I'm looking forward to getting to know more people. That's a big part of this. So getting to know each, one of you a little bit more. So thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Scully.
I can say that we are very pleased to now have a full board.
Absolutely, and I wanted to say, I alluded to this before, that we all have very different personalities, but we all work well together. We all call each other on the phone. We'll all have discussions. Once the meeting is over, I'll call Commissioner Walker and talk with him, and then I'll hang up the phone, and Commissioner Warnick ends up calling Commissioner Walker, and we talk about things. And I think that is one of the good things about this board, is that we are all on board and moving Rising Sun forward as a team. Two things that I wanted to add before adjournment tonight. One, I wanted to say special thanks to former Mayor Tom Mummy and his wife. You see the artwork that is currently on our walls here in our meeting room. That was graciously donated and framed by the Historical Commission and former Mayor Tom Mummy. Thank you so much for adding them. I think they are a beautiful representation of Cecil County, and they lend something to this room. So I'm very excited about that as well. And I did want to say a special thanks also to Commissioner Warnick. With all those things that Commissioner Warnick had going on, I also hit him up and said, I need photos for Town Hall. So he printed out some photos, which you will see on our walls. There's 2 of them here, some beautiful prints of parades, and then downstairs in our foyer is a couple of other shots of the town of Rising Sun. And that's just lending nicely to making our town hall beautiful, making it welcoming. When school starts again, we'll have the art students out again, and they will fill the stairwell as a gallery, as a walking gallery. So I'm excited about that as well. With the Economic Development Committee, I've been in discussions with Commissioner Warnick, and next meeting I will present to you an executive draft that I drew up regarding the Economic Development and Community Revitalization Committee. If you are interested in being involved in that committee, please contact Commissioner Warnick or myself. We are looking for people from all aspects of life, whether they be a business owner or a community volunteer, someone that feels that the best days of Rising Sun are forward in the future is someone that I am specifically looking for. So with that being said, I am going to ask for a motion to adjourn. However,
Excuse me, are we going to have an executive session?
yes, that's what I was going to lend to. I was going to say, after our adjournment, the Board of Commissioners will move into an executive session on the second floor. We'll have a little bit of time where Commissioner Warnick can speak to the scout leaders, and a little break before we move into executive session, but we will be moving into for personnel. We will be moving into an executive session for personnel, and to update our new commissioner, Commissioner Scully, on some legal issues as well. So that will approximately be, let's say we'll move into executive session around 8:15. So we'll move into executive session at that time. I'm going to ask for a motion of adjournment, please.
I motion that we adjourn.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.